Can everybody see me now? All right. What's up, everybody? It's Kendra from Body Mechanics. Today is Friday. I don't know exactly what date, but it's Friday, which means it's time for form check. All right, so it's 2020, brand new year. Everybody's now in the gym getting themselves together, and I'm pretty sure in this point in time you've heard the year-old, day-old question of how much do you bench press? So that's this week's form check, is the bench press. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you 3 tips that help you maximize your bench press. Say the most common misplaced things for bench press and then how to fix it. Then also I'm gonna give you one of my favorite tips to actually grow your bench press. So when they get a question gets asked, you have an answer. All right. So, tip number 1, all right? It's very simple, very easy. Bench in a straight line. Now, the reason why I say straight line is very simple. Most of the time, it's really meant to decrease your chance of injury. Bench press in itself is a very, very serious thing to do. Excuse me. All right, bench press in itself is it's pretty much a scary workout, but making sure you do the simple things to make sure you, number 1, avoid injury, number 2, can actually lift more, and then all of a sudden you do it for longer period of time. So, straight line. And what I mean by straight line is literally from your hand to your elbow, from your elbow all the way across to your nipples to the other side. Bench in a straight line. Say all the way up and all the way down, straight line. Okay, number 1, make sure you actually take your chest and actually work your chest correctly. Number 2, actually make sure your triceps actually activate, which is what keeps your body moving in motion with the strength of with the power from your chest, and also keep your stabilizers in line, which is your rotator. Okay, rotator cuff injuries are the most major for most people working out. So benching correctly helps you avoid getting that injury. So, I mean, straight line, say right across your nipples, which is what they're made for. God gave you nipples to know where to bench press at. That's the only reason for your nipples is bench pressing. Don't believe me, look it up. And if I'm wrong, you prove it. But when you bench press, make sure you bench press through your nipples, okay? Hand to elbow, straight line. Elbow all the way to the opposite elbow, across the nipples, straight line when you bench press. Number 1, maximize your bench press. Number 2, to make sure the form will never ever actually go out of sync to where you can actually keep benching for a longer period of time with the main amount of strength. Okay? Straight lines. Bench press straight lines. All right, so number 2 is literally make sure you have 3 points for 3 points of lifting, okay? That is literally shoulder blades, which is your back, your butt, and your feet. Now, you see a lot of people working out, they'll actually do it where their feet are up, not that big of a deal, the weight's controllable, but the reason why is because you're stabilizing when you actually on the bench press is coming from your back muscles, okay? But just like everything, when you work your back, your butt also included because they're synced together through your spine, okay? So one to the other. Also, your feet help you move because they're feet. The whole reason they're meant to keep you stable and upright and keep you pushing forward. It's what feet are meant for. So number 1, control with your back, okay? Pushing with your back. Like I said, so you ever seen somebody when they bench press and they ox, they kind of wayward one way or the other? That's because the stabilizers in their back are not there. So they stable, go to the right, the left side is stronger than their right side, or they're off the bench set or something along those lines to where when they bench press, they can't equal out. They're still moving weight like it's no big deal, but they can't stay straight. That's the reason why. So if you're like me who bench with no clips, opsided is pretty much a very bad thing because we'll lose weights. So make sure your back's back down, pinch those shoulder blades back to actually push that chest forward, bring a little bit of an arch in your back straight to your butt, a little bit of an arch straight to your butt, and make sure your butt's on the seat. So you make sure you have the power to drive through. Your feet just give you extra leverage, and you have 3 points, pretty much 3 points of actual structure. Those 3 points help you bench a whole lot more, I promise you that. That will raise your bench at the minimum 20 to 40 pounds just by making sure you have those points and make sure they're strong enough. And on top of that, Same thing, you avoid injury, which is the number one thing that everybody needs to do. Avoiding injury in this. That's how you last so long with lifting weights, and that's how you can last for pretty much a long, very long time. Get stronger, get bigger, and actually not hurt yourself, okay? That's number two. Make sure you have 3 points of contact throughout your lifts. 3 points of contact. At least good old number 3. All right, the number 3 tip I have for people is something it's not simple, it's easy to forget to do, but it actually will help you out. Number 1, and make sure your flow is still moving, and number 2, make sure you can lift. All right, and it's follow with your elbows. I know, it sounds very simple, and it kind of sounds kind of stupid when you hear it, but I'm gonna explain to you why. Okay, so as you bench press, the elbows actually lead the rest of your body. So same thing, your elbows is what goes straight across, and as you pinch forward, your elbows is what drives your body forward. On top of that, make sure you actually squeezing in your chest, okay? So you follow with your elbow and your elbows go outward, you're no longer activating your chest. If your elbows stay in, you are. Very simple fix, see, out and in, out and in. All right, so follow with your elbows, and that's on everything that has to do with chest. Bench press, say club flies, say low flies, everything that has to do with chest. Follow through with your elbows. That way, so now with that being said, don't lock elbows. Don't lock your elbows, that's how you call the injury, but make sure you follow all the way through, nice steep curve with it, tighten through your elbows, and make sure you're lifting with that. Now, the reason why is, like I said, is to make sure you're still lifting pretty much straight line. Straight across the chest, you make sure your full follow through is the exact same way, and that's how you can actually like follow through with the weight. So when you're doing dumbbells, if you're following with your elbows, you can't sway out, you can't teeter-totter, you can't follow through. You have to go up and down, follow through with your elbows. That's why you have a personal trainer, they push your elbows up, not your hands. That's why they push your elbows up, because that's what leads the weight, okay? Your chest muscles pinch inward. So when you lift, your chest goes in. This is your chest, go from here to here. Your chest muscles go this direction, okay? All the way through, they go this way. They don't go, they're not cut in sections, they're not outward, they literally go from inside all the way out. So when you bench in to squeeze your chest muscles, okay? Follow through with your elbows to make sure you're actually maximizing make sure you maximize your lift. There's no swaying, no wayward, no falling off or anything else like that. And number 3, like always, prevent injury. Yes, I said it again, preventing injury. So now the tip that I've learned throughout my time of working out with people, lifting with people, having people around me, or whatever you want to call it, that people miss this one step. And it's very simply to breathe. Bench press it's a compound workout. It takes a lot of muscles, a lot of things form together to make sure your bench presses to a normal rate. So even though it's pulling through your chest, which is your primary muscle, triceps, which is your secondary, front shoulders, which is your stabilizers, your backside, your shoulder blades and your pure back to make sure you stable on the bench or whatever you're pushing through, and also your butt to make sure you're actually, like I said, you have enough force and power and stabilizers. All those muscles together make up your bench press. Now, the reason why I say it's a compound muscle is because it takes a lot of muscles to use. So when you're lifting, you use a lot of muscles a lot faster than you normally would if you're doing bicep curls. Bicep curls only work bicep, they don't work anything else. So as you're lifting biceps, you're only working your short head and your long head. Working chest works many different muscles. Unless you're doing isolation on chest, it works many different muscles. Chest, your shoulders, your triceps, and every stabilizer in your body, including keeping form on your spine. People forget to breathe. Breathing is what feeds your muscle air. Your muscles are literally made up of protein, tendons, air, and water. If they don't have air, how do they breathe? How do they function? So you see people all the time, they get ready to lift and they suck it in, they hold it real quick and they think they get more force out of it. They will not last through a 10-rep workout. So the person who is breathing through 10 reps, now 1, 2, 3, nice and steady, in going down, out going up, in, out, will actually bang out more reps than the person who's holding it in for a split second to bang out. Like I said, your muscles need air. It's like the fuel to keep them going. You can do more with just breathing throughout the full workout. Say no, it's harder and it takes time to get used to how to breathe and you find your breathing pattern, but you have to breathe to make it through the actual workout. So, once more, make sure you're breathing throughout this workout. Now, that's the tip that most people forget. That's the number one thing that most people actually forget to do, and it's just a subconscious thing. You hear that, when you get ready to move something, you breathe, hold it in, and try to push as hard as you can. It works, but at the same time, in longevity form, it's bad for you. Make sure you're breathing, okay? Make sure you're breathing. Always breathe throughout your workout. All of it. But not least, I know everybody waiting for this one right here. It's my number one way I grow my bench press. Okay, and it's going to sound like a very weird thing, and I know people are going to tell you all the time that you want to grow your bench press, just go bench press, and it's true. Growing your bench press is literally you getting underneath the bar, getting enough weight to where you can bang out 6 to 8 reps comfortably and have to force your way through the rest of the reps. That is very true. That is very feasible, and it's a way of doing it. Now, with that being said, on trying to maximize all of it, it's a very simple fix. When you push through the weight, you actually just the number one way of maximizing it. How I do it to maximize myself is I always make sure I do it with cables. Cables give me pretty much a lot more elasticity for it. They give you bottom resistance along with being top resistance. So as you go down, the weight actually forms, and as you go up, the weight forms. The reason why I like cables on the bench press, standing, however you want to call it, is because there's resistance both ways. You can keep nice and steady down, nice and steady up. And both of those forms keep your body to maximizing weight. So as you go down, the resistance level pulls you, slow the resistance down, and force it up. That way you know for a fact you're getting workout on both different directions. Doing that with the heavy number of weight can actually make sure you're maintaining it. All on top of that, you're building strength. And that's pretty much the whole reason for the bench press, to build strength. And it's doing the same form. Straight across your body with the cables above you, press all the way out, lock in place with your elbows, and bring it right back down. Same kind of form. Either you're doing it on the laying down bench press, laying down cables, incline cables, or you're doing it standing up cables. Doing that alone, I promise you will gain you strength. Will actually make sure your form is correct when you actually get to a bench. And on top of that, like I said, it just gives you strength and form, shape, size. And I promise it's probably one of the best workouts you'll get. All right, so those are my tips. What are they again? I forgot already. 1, straight lines. 2, always have 3 points of contact. 3, make sure you're following through with your elbows. Make sure to breathe throughout the full workout. Throughout the full reps and sets and all of them, make sure you're breathing. And on top of all that, if you want to gain some strength in it, knock out some cables. All right, Kendra from Body Mechanics again. Of course, y'all should be used to me by now with all my nonsense we're talking. It's anything, any questions, please hit me up. Let me know about it. Make sure you leave me a comment, like, share. Also, make sure you subscribe to it. I'm making sure I'm gonna do a form check every single Friday just to make sure you maximize it. Most on request, others on things I think need to be helped out the most. All right, thank you.